Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with a very, very fun slime video. The second meta for the New Year's Blessing has come out, and it is this Milum, as we know because of the data mine leaks, and because of sad intern Kun, who accidentally added her and Shinsha into the data mine. So we knew this Milum was coming. We didn't know what she was going to do, and we still didn't know what she did until she actually came out because we did not get a skill preview for her at 3 in the morning like they normally do for brand new units. So that already was a good sign. And I think they did it on purpose because they knew if they posted her skills early, everyone would hate it. Everyone would hate it. So, first off, this banner is just Milim by herself. It still has the other New Year's Blessings units, so Fire Milim, Raphael, Light Lumi, Light Milim, and that sort of thing. A single banner. There are no free tickets as far as I've seen on social media. No social media campaign for like 1,000 likes or something, or some New Year's gift of 10 Milim tickets. I don't see anything currently as of recording this video at 7:40 at night on the 3rd. So I think it's safe to assume that we will not get anything free for this Milum. But what does this Milum do exactly? Well, I'll tell you what she does. She does a lot of stuff that we've already seen before, which makes her not very special. Just straight up. So she is a wind unit. She is physical, as the rest of the meta is. She uses a hammer. Awesome. She's on New Year's Blessing, Octagram Demon Lord, and Dragon Hakai. And she is an AoE alt, 300%, and also increases physical attack of your allies by 5% after you alt, which, is a little bit of an extra buff. Cool, whatever. Her first skill is a Future Hand of Orange and increases New Year's Blessing allies orb damage by 50% for 2 turns. So, the Future Hand of Oranges may look familiar, because that's what the second anniversary Hinata does, is a Future Hand of Oranges. So we have our second character that does that. Okay, well, personally, I was already using Hinata on the New Year's team because she's really good and she's generic. Uh, I don't need another Future Hand of Orange unit because I barely even use Hinata's, actually. To be perfectly honest, I don't think I ever use hers unless things go really, really wrong. So, okay, cool. And then this New Year's Blessing orb damage by 50% is again just a major limitation because if you are not on the New Year's team, you do not get this 50% orb damage. You just get normal damage. So you need to have a number of orbs for Milum or Rimuru or Diablo for this to actually matter, which limits her already. Diablo, the free to play one, is already heavily limited because he has to be on a New Year's team because he's, orb changing New Year's team units and he's orb, gauge buffing only New Year's orbs. They're making this not very friendly. Her second skill is a 40 cost, alt resistance down by 40%, which is good, and a 20% synergy power buff. Now, this skill is fine. I think it's fine on the surface. It's a 40 cost skill, so it's not going to be disturbingly powerful. 40% alt resistance down can be good, and 20% synergy power is better than nothing, I guess. But it is only 40 points. Like, if you put her up against Warrior's Mind Violet, she's got 55% alt resistance down and 40% crit damage for physical, but it's also 80 friggin' points. So it's worth doing that much more. This is half the cost. So it is, I would say, less than half the value, but still. The problem with this skill is that synergy power means you need synergy, which currently there's only 3 units that do that. There's Protector Shion, brand new. There's Visions of Coleus Lumi, who you can't get anymore. And then there's the Fire Idol Shuna, who you also can't get anymore. There are no other units that give you synergy rate right now, which means that if you don't have those units, the synergy power means jack crap, which means you're effectively pulling for 40% alt resistance down. Which, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but Light Raphael also happens to be on the New Year's meta. Where is he? also happens to be on the New Year's meta, New Year's Blessing, and he also has alt resistance down by 50%. Now it's 55 points, and it does have Pierce on it, which if you don't want to Pierce, it's not great, but it is still a unit with alt resistance down. Warrior's Mind Violet, we just got done talking about her. She has alt resistance down by 55%. So this Milum is not really doing anything incredible, amazing, noteworthy. She's just kind of an amalgamation of existing characters. And if you already have those existing characters, then why would you run this Milum? Right? The Hinata, the EX Hinata that came up for the second anniversary with the Wheel Order of Magic. What makes her so good is that she is generic. She has the orange future hand, right? Let's actually go talk about her while we're talking about her. Let's look at her while we're talking about her. She's got a future hand, and she gives orange gauge increase by 20% for 2 turns. That's generic. Anybody can benefit off of extra gauge increase from oranges. That's good. This all attribute attack by 50% means that no matter who is on your team, you can give them an element buff. Oh, you have Space Raphael? Space buff. Oh, you have Light Rimuru? Light buff. It honestly, it gives you all 7 buffs in one skill for 40 points. And you can hold this skill in the back. The weakness strike doesn't matter because I'm using her as a support. I don't care about this. But the 50% buff you can hold in the back. You cannot hold this buff with Milum because the alt resistance down is a debuff affected to the enemy, and that doesn't just magically stay on unless it was a 2-turn buff, which it's not. So you can't hold this buff. You could hold the synergy. Sure, fine, 20%, why not? But you can't really maximize the power of the skill by combining with others by holding alts in the back and holding buffs in the back, which is what we've been doing with this meta. Now, if you don't have Hinata, can Milum work? Yeah, she can work on the New Year's team because you have, the future hand, you've got this. She will work fine on the New Year's team. Outside of the New Year's team, this current New Year's team, by the way, she's not going to work that well. Why is that? Well, because if you try and put her with the other New Year's team, the light team, you already have alt resistance down with Raphael, right? Cool. They want blue orbs, so a future hand of oranges doesn't really mean that much to them, right? There is no one to give synergy on that team, unless you specifically run, like, Fire Shuna, so you don't have synergy. So you have alt resistance down covered, you don't need orange orbs, and you don't have anyone to give synergy. So why the hell would I bring Milum on the other New Year's Blessing team? I wouldn't. I would bring Blanc. I would bring Summer Goddamn Shizu or something like that. I would bring Veldora, Otherworld Legend Veldora on that team over this Milum. And the fact that she is a future hand of oranges means that she has already limited herself to an orange team to be most effective because her support skills are really not that great. Other units do those skills, sometimes in a better fashion, in a more worthy, generic fashion. There are other alt resistance down characters. There are, Shuna's not available to everybody, but you need someone to give synergy for Milum's synergy buff to actually matter. The New Year's orb damage only matters if you're on a New Year's team. She is restricted for her first skill 2 different ways, by being an orange thing and being a New Year's thing. Orange metas are not looked upon very fondly in this game. In 800 days of service, as of tomorrow, Thursday, January 4th, there are 4 orange metas in 26 months? 4 months out of 26 have been orange focused. Everything else is green or blue. And because of that, it means that on those green and blue stages, oranges are generally nerfed or don't do that much for you. So you got to see the logic there. Oranges, not useful right now. New Year's Blessing specific, not really that great. Other buffs that are, generic, I mean, fine, yeah, but there are other units that do that. And then synergy is still so new that almost no units have it. So overall, why would you summon for Milum? Like, why, besides being a huge Milum simp, which, I'm not a simp. I like Milum's character. I simp for Soka, which is why she's 120. And I simp for Blanc because she's 120. Milim, I think, is a fun character. I like her attitude. I like that she just does not give two fucks about anything. I like Milim to also be viable in a lot of content. This Milim, I don't think is very viable in a lot of content. And I'm going to find it. We know that Shinsha is coming next week, probably Saturday or Sunday, one of those 2 days. Shinsha's going to come. She may be better. I pray to God she's better, for one. So if you like Shinsha, and you don't really care about this Milim's kit, don't summon. If you don't have Rimuru or Shion, summon for them, because they work much better than this Milim ever will together. And if you don't like any of the units here, save for February. For another supposed collab of something. I don't know. We got figures, we had the Idolmaster. What's next? Oshinoko? You're gonna pull for EX, Ruby, and Aqua? I don't know, man. Don't summon for Milim. She's not that great. I'll do the showcase. I'll start it probably now, actually. And I'll have it out tomorrow sometime in the morning-ish. But yeah. I'm not even going to ask you how your summons went, because no one should have summoned. Please don't summon. Don't summon for this Milim. Spend your crystals on something else that's useful. Don't summon on this Milim. Take it easy, guys. And I'll see you later.